You can achieve rapid weight loss with the Dukan diet. In fact, in my personal experience, it was the more effective of the three major diets I had tried until then, Weight Watchers and Atkins being the other two. However, having gone through the Dukan diet twice, each time spanning around 8 months, I became aware of several issues associated with this dietary approach. In this overview, I will provide a comprehensive analysis of the Dukan diet, highlighting its pros and cons, as well as the challenges inherent in following an extreme, high-protein, low-carb, low-fat regimen like Dukan. If you didn't catch my previous discussions on the Weight Watchers and Atkins diet, let me provide some context. Over the past 2 decades, I've explored a range of dietary approaches, including Weight Watchers, Atkins, Dukan, low-carb intermittent fasting, and a combination of keto and intermittent fasting. My experiences with these diets have been quite diverse. Some of them didn't yield noticeable results, while others initially resulted in substantial weight loss, which was often followed by a swift weight regain. In some cases, I even experienced additional weight gain along with adverse effect on my health. In this series, my objective is to thoroughly examine each of these diets, detailing the results I encountered, encompassing both achievements and challenges. For this installment, we are diving into the third diet in the series, the Dukan diet. The Dukan diet is a high-protein, low-carbohydrate, and low-fat diet developed by French Dr. Pierre Dukan. It's known for its well-structured 4-phase approach to weight loss. The diet is designed to help people lose weight and maintain their desired weight by emphasizing protein-rich food and restricting carbohydrates and fat. The first phase of the diet is called the attack phase. This initial phase typically lasts 2 to 7 days, depending on your weight loss goals. The main goal of the attack phase is rapid weight loss. During this phase, your body goes into a state of ketosis, where it primarily burns the stored fat for energy. You're allowed to eat unlimited, I emphasize, unlimited lean protein food, including lean cuts of beef, poultry, fish, tofu, and non-fat dairy products. Nothing else, not even vegetables. All carbohydrates are restricted during this phase, except for a small amount of oat bran, which is primarily fiber. That is why a large part of your weight loss in this phase is due to the lack of water retention. In fact, I personally lost 3 kilograms within 4 days of my attack phase. The second phase is called cruise phase. This phase can last for several weeks or even months, depending on your target weight. For me, it took around 4 months. The cruise phase is intended for steady weight loss and can continue until you reach your desired weight. You continue to consume lean protein sources, as in the attack phase, but you now alternate protein-only days with protein and non-starchy vegetables days. Some vegetables are introduced, primarily non-starchy ones like spinach, lettuce, and cucumber. You can also continue to consume oat bran. Then is the consolidation phase. This phase lasts 5 days for every pound you lost during the attack and cruise phases. I lost 22 pounds in the first 2 phases, so this phase lasted around 4 months for me. The consolidation phase aims to prevent the rapid weight regain that often occurs after strict dieting, which at the time sounded great to me, considering I had regained all the weight I had lost during my experience with Atkins diet. In this phase, you can introduce controlled amounts of carbohydrates and fat back into your diet. This includes whole grain, some fruits, cheese, starchy vegetables. The gradual introduction of carbohydrates occurs in this phase. You're allowed 1 celebration meal per week where you can eat whatever you like without restriction. The final phase is the stabilization phase. This phase is meant to be followed for life to maintain your desired weight. The stabilization phase is supposed to help you maintain your weight by following few simple rules. You can eat whatever you like, but 1 day a week you must follow the same rules as the attack phase, eating only lean protein. There are no specific carbohydrate restrictions in this phase, and you must continue to consume oat bran daily. Finally, you should always take the stairs instead of a lift. Basically, maintain a light level of exercise. As I mentioned earlier, I managed to lose approximately 10 kilograms in just 4 months while following the Dukan diet. What made this experience particularly satisfying was the fact that I rarely felt hungry, primarily because I could consume as much protein as I wanted. The primary mechanism behind weight loss on this diet is calorie deficit, like many other weight loss approaches. However, the remarkable aspect of this diet lies in the sense of fullness created by the substantial protein intake. Even though the actual calorie intake is significantly lower than your daily requirements, this is achieved by avoiding calorie-dense foods such as carbohydrates and fat. Additionally, the stringent restriction of carbohydrate in the initial phases of the Dukan diet can introduce a state of ketosis. Ketosis is a metabolic condition where the body relies on stored fat as its primary source of energy due to the limited availability of carbohydrates and glucose for fuel. This metabolic shift leads to a swift weight loss primarily attributable to the utilization of stored fat, a mechanism shared with the keto diet. Taking a 2-second pause to highlight the incredible benefits of cold exposure. Personally, I have been an advocate for cold exposure. The impact on my health, both physically and mentally, has been transformative. I feel a sense of duty to share these benefits and raise awareness about the power of the cold exposure. If you're curious and want to delve deeper into the practice, I've created several videos on my channel that explore the topic in detail. Feel free to check them out. It might just spark your interest and lead to a positive change in your own health journey. Another pro of this diet is the structured plan. The 4-phase structure of the diet provides a clear roadmap for individuals to follow, which can make it easier for some people to stick to a diet plan. And that was the case for me. Also, the Dukan diet doesn't require calorie counting, which can be a relief for those who find it tedious. By limiting carbohydrates and sugar, the Dukan diet keeps the glycemic load low, potentially benefiting individuals with diabetes or those looking to stabilize blood sugar levels. My own glucose level dropped very rapidly by 10 to 15 points. Everything I mentioned about the Dukan diet sounds promising, but now let's address some of the minor concerns and then the major issue I faced with. One notable issue is the extreme restrictiveness of the diet in its initial phases, where carbohydrates and healthy fats are virtually absent. This lack of dietary balance can potentially result in nutrient deficiencies and raise concerns about long-term health implications. The diet advises against engaging in strenuous exercise, suggesting only light activities like walking during the initial 2 or 3 phases. However, I found it difficult to adhere to this recommendation for 8 months and continued with my intense sport routine. At the time, I was actively mountain biking, which didn't align well with the Dukan diet. I experienced a noticeable decrease in strength and found myself falling ill multiple times. This led me to believe that I was pushing my body beyond its capabilities while on the diet. It's important to note that this issue might not be as apparent if you aren't involved in rigorous physical activities, but it becomes quite evident during the diet that your body is lacking the essential nutrients. You can get boredom and food fatigue. The diet's focus on lean protein can become monotonous and lead to food fatigue, making it difficult for people to stick with the plan in the long term. I basically used to eat 6 eggs mid-morning every day to keep going, not the yolk, the white part, and then the same chicken and beef every day. There is also a risk of muscle loss, which actually contributes to your overall weight loss, but will have a negative impact on your metabolic rate and overall body composition. Also, such an extreme high protein diet can put stress on the kidneys and increase the risk of kidney stones and other health issues. Now, The primary issue I encountered was related to the weight maintenance. Upon transitioning to the stabilization phase, I found it challenging to sustain my weight without the structure provided in the earlier phases. The diet claims that progressing through these 4 phases will address complications associated with metabolic rates. However, my personal experience contradicts this claim, as I underwent this diet twice and can state with certainty that it did not resolve the issue of long-term weight management. During my first attempt at the diet, I successfully shed 10 kilograms. However, once I entered the last phase, the stabilization phase, where you return to a more regular eating pattern, I experienced a complete regain of the weight I had lost, and even some additional pounds. Since I couldn't find a better alternative diet at the time, I decided to give it another try 3 years later. This time around, I managed to lose 11 kilograms and chose to limit my carbohydrates intake even during the stabilization phase. Unfortunately, this approach didn't yield the desired results either. My metabolism had slowed significantly during the earlier phases to the extent that any carb intake resulted in the accumulation of stored fat, leading to a complete regain of the lost weight and more. In conclusion, the Dukan diet offers a structured and protein-rich approach to weight loss that can yield rapid results, often driven by a calorie deficit and a metabolic shift into ketosis. The diet's 4-phase structure and avoidance of calorie counting can make it appealing for those seeking a clear roadmap for the weight loss journey. However, the long-term weight maintenance remains a significant challenge, as the diet's structure does not effectively address metabolic rate complications. It's crucial to weigh these pros and cons carefully when considering the Dukan diet as an option for a weight loss journey. In the next episode, we will continue with this series. If you have not yet watched the previous episodes on the series, you can find them here, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay healthy and strong.